So I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike recently, and I really like the skins, but there's just one problem. All of them are way too expensive, and I'm a completely broke high school student. So this is my attempt at scraping together a loadout for under $20, the minimum amount where I still don't have to get a job. Of course, I'm only going to be using weapons that I consider decent, and I use in my loadout, so no auto sniper for you degenerates. No knives or glove are included either for reasons that I hope are obvious to you. So first up on the CT side, we have the USPS Black Lotus in field tested condition, and it only costs 94 cents. And it has some really sick art of a flower, I don't know, and 3 stickers. And I just saw stickers, I clicked buy. So now we have the stickers covering the art, I guess. And I don't want to waste the 3 cents that the stickers costed. Anyway, compared to the other options like, I don't know, Ticket to Hell or Flashback, this looks way sicker in my opinion, and it's only like a few cents more. Come on, what are you gonna buy with those few more cents? Lotion? For, I don't know. So next up in the list, we have the P250 cassette, which in my opinion strikes just the right balance between clean and clutter, because most of the skin is clean, except for a little burst of color at the top with some Japanese characters. I know, weeb shit. Ignore the fact that I'm Asian, by the way. Yeah, I think in minimal wear, this skin only costs 11 cents. So you get a basically intact skin for a pistol that you will be using a decent amount of the time, so you can just not use the Glock. So pretty good deal in my opinion. And all the others around this price range are dog shit, like what are you gonna get, Boreal Forest? So next up, we've got the dual Berettas stained in minimal wear for only 9 cents. Everyone's favorite gun that you never used. So obviously we're gonna be throwing a super low budget pick on this one. Although the dual Beretta stain actually look pretty nice, in my opinion. Contrary to all the other skins that are like 10 cents, these actually don't look like complete shit. If you're in the sun, these guns just shine in a way that releases so much dopamine in my brain, man. Okay, so next up we have the 5.7 Violent Dynamo in minimal wear for 20 cents. And remember when I was talking about how the P250 struck the perfect balance between cleanness and clutteredness? This motherfucker is completely cluttered with color. There's violet, purple, gray everywhere. There's a ton of different symbols that I don't know what the fuck they mean. But it looks cool. Like, come on, you can't tell me that that doesn't look cool. And it's only 20 cents. Like, what the fuck else are you gonna get? Okay, so next up is the Deagle, which is the first skin that we're gonna spend a decent amount on, not named the USPS, because I actually use the Deagle a lot. So I decided to go with the Desert Eagle Light Rail, although there's also a bunch of other good options that you can get like Bronze Deco. And I got it in field tested for only 78 cents. And come on, it looks like it has some cool engravings and shit, and it has a sick gradient, man. So moving on to the machine guns away from the pistols, first up we have the MP9 GU in minimal wear for 74 cents. And to those of you saying, actually, the MP9 really sucks, I don't like it. To you I say shut the fuck up. The MP9 GU is the perfect art skin for me. It's kind of clean, I guess, although it looks like it's spattered in goo, but it just looks sick. And 74 cents, like all the other options are dog shit unless you move up to $2. And who the fuck's gonna spend $2 on an MP9 skin when your budget is $20? So next up we have the MP5 SC liquidation, which has a really fucking sick combination of blue and red. And I don't know what those letters on the side mean. Is it supposed to be like a fuel rod for a car or something? I don't know. But it just looks cool. And you can get it in minimal wear for just 14 cents, which is a real win when you can only spend $20. So now we've got the XM1014, also known as the Auto Shotty, Blue Steel Battle Scarred for 7 cents. And you might be saying, actually, Battle Scarred is a terrible fucking finish. Well, on this, it actually adds some character. Like, I don't want to just see a fucking solid blue mass interrupted by some black of the gun. Like, this actually gives it some character, some personality, and you're not going to be using this that much anyway, so why spend more than 7 cents on it? This is the best option that you're going to be able to get for that price point. Okay, so now we have the P90 Fright for 7 cents. Now the P90 is your favorite gun that you're never going to use because you will either be getting a rifle or an MP9, so we're only spending 7 cents on that. That said, this shit actually looks kinda cool, like you just picked it up from a rail yard or something, and it even has some sick graffiti on the side, and plus it only costs 7 cents, like, are you seriously gonna complain? So finally, for the machine guns, we have the Negev terrain, and everyone knows that the Negev is the second best machine gun, second only to the M249. And if you're a new player, you should immediately equip that and buy it because it's the best gun in the game, obviously because it's the most expensive. That being said, the Negev terrain actually looks pretty cool. It's splashed with aqua, cyan, marine, I don't know what to call that, but it just looks really cool. I mean, it doesn't change appearance that much when you're in the sun versus in the shadow, but come on, it just looks sick. Like, you splash censored blood all over it. And it's only 27 cents. Come on. Okay, so moving on to the rifles, which is where we'll be dropping most of our money, we're starting off with actually a relatively budget pick. The M4A1S Night Terror in field tested for only 69 cents. Nice. So the Night Terror skin is actually kind of weird in that if you get a higher float, it actually looks better because it gets more purple, which in my opinion it looks way more sick than whatever the fuck the gray and red color scheme is. Anyway, the field tested condition strikes the best balance between the right amount of purple and not fucking breaking your bank when we only have $20 to spend. That's great. It's obviously better than all of the other competition in its range. Like the only M4A1S I would consider a competition to in the budget segment would be the leaded glass, and that's like $3 more expensive. So next up we have the M4A4 Tooth Fairy in Battle Scarred, starting at 277, our first
Reward.
purchase over $1. And you might be saying, I just used the M4A1S. Well, you should use the M4A4 too, because this skin is really fucking sick. Like, look at the fucking skeleton and the gradient too. And it's so much better than the whatever the hell kids these days use, like the Griffin or something. It's so good. This is probably one of my favorite art skins, and it's only 277. So next up, we have the Call of Duty gun in Snake Pit factory new for 15 cents, and nobody uses this gun. I could not find a single one of my friends who had used the AUG in the past month. Anyway, Snake Pit looks pretty good, I guess, and it would definitely looks the best around this price range because I am not going to be dropping that much money on a skin nobody I know uses. Next up is the SSG Fever Dream, which is covered in like blue, white, pink graffiti. It looks sick as hell, man. And it's only 39 cents field tested. Like, come on, you can't tell me that you're not going to be picking this shit up and using the scout more just because of the skin. Closing out the CT side, we have the AWP Paul. Now this might come as a shock to you because in minimal wear, this skin costs 260 currently, and that's awfully close to a field tested Aetherius, which a lot of people think is better. But personally, I don't want to be looking down the barrel of a fucking green snake all the time when I'm using the op, which is a lot of time, because I am definitely not an op crutch abuser. So instead, we have the op covered in furry art, which is actually pretty good. It helps me lock in. I don't know why, man. Is there something wrong with me? So next, starting on the T side, we have the big blue Glock high beam, and this is in factory new for 20 cents. And you might be saying, why factory new? The minimal wear looks fine. Well, it's because there's like 5 cents difference. And what are you going to be using that on? Tissues? This skin is an absolute steal if you're one of the 5 users of the Glock, also known as the water gun. It catches the sun and shines like a fucking flashlight, man. And the pattern, as long as you get a good pattern, it actually looks kind of sick. But on the other hand, it's the Glock. When will you be using it? So the only other T exclusive pistol that we have is the Tech 9, and I got the Tech 9 Sandstorm and field tested for 25 cents. And that's a whole lot of purple for 25 cents, man. It's so much better than spending $500 on what the fuck is a Sapphire? I don't know. So now we'll be going over the T machine gun, starting with a Mac 10 ensnared. And while this may bear an eerie resemblance to your sleep paralysis demons, this is actually not, because it only costs 12 cents in minimal wear. And it actually looks pretty cool, although you could go like 20 cents more and get the aware, which is a really nice art skin. But on the other hand, that's 20 cents for a gun that you'll probably be using once a match. So we'll be going right over to the rifles because all the other ones are not T exclusive. We'll be starting with a Galil AR, which you'll probably be using once around as well, maximum. So, because of this, we're only going to be spending 13 cents on minimal wear Galil Destroyer. And while it only costs 13 cents, this is actually pretty cool because it looks like the light rail patterns, except it's black and yellow. Don't quote me on that. It actually looks pretty cool, like you'd find it in a Forerunner Halo structure or something. And compared to the other options, this wins hands down. Like, I forget what the other one was called, Sage Tray or something, but it was just like a massive blue mottled mold looking shit. No, this looks so much better, trust me. And next up, we have the AK, which you are probably going to be buying a good 50% of the time that you are on the T side, assuming that you're winning the rounds. And that's why we're going to be spending by far the most money on it. We are going to be buying a 794 field tested ice cold. I mean, like, come on, you can't tell me that this shit doesn't look cool. Like, you've got the clear mag, and then obviously you've got the clean gradient from blue to green at the front. If you find a few good stickers to slap on too, it's really good. But I unfortunately couldn't because my Steam wallet was sitting at a nice 0 cents after this video. The next closest competitors are the AK Phantom Disruptor and the Legion of Anubis, but those are both way too cluttered for me. This clean gradient looks so much better, and you won't be getting bored of this. So to close things out, we have the SG Dragon Tech, and it costs 55 cents, which you might think is a lot for the COD gun. But come on, you have a fucking dragon staring at you from the side when you inspect it, like it's a budget dragon lore. But the dragon lore doesn't even have a dragon, these nuts. The other option I was seriously considering is the SG Nightwing, I think, or Darkwing. I completely fucking forget. I forgot to take my dementia pills today. But the Dragon Tech is just a lot better than whatever the hell the mid-ass red to black gradient is. So that about wraps it up. Unfortunately, like the complete fucking idiot I am, I did the calculations for the price before I recorded this, so now the prices have moved. But before, I calculated the total price to be $19, which is pretty damn good for a full loadout if you ask me. That's also 5 or 6 times cheaper than the cheapest knife, which is going to be a battle-scarred Navaja knife piece of shit. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Now that's going to be it for my yapping today. Please drop a like if you enjoyed. I don't want to have to say that. And also please subscribe because I need emotional validation from strangers on the internet. See you next time.